The CARN conference is coming up. Highlighted there. We have the conference website up. It's coming up at the end of October, and we still have a few slots left. If you go on the website, it will say that submissions are now finished, but there is an email address, and if you contact the email address, we have a few slots left, so we would be very, very happy to see you there. And the other very brief update that I have is in terms of, I can just, the first issue of our new journal, CARN Praxis, is available. And again, here's the website of it. I can share my screen just very briefly and let you see that. There you go. So you are able to either read it online as a booklet or download it as a PDF. And we are delighted to encourage people, if you wish for any other, you wish to write for us, to contact us, we're happy to talk to you about publishing in that medium. So that's really the height of it. As I say, the big thing is that the conference is coming up now, and you're very welcome to come along. There's still spaces available. Okay.
Marie, do you want to give us a little word about EJOLTs, the educational? No.
Yep.
Journal of Living Theories? Yeah, great, good.
Sure, you know what it is. Can I share my screen? Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll go with this one. Okay. If you go on to ejolts.net, for those who don't know, Living Educational Theory Research Journal is where we actually publish, share, make available to other people accounts of your living educational theory research, which is researching into your practice to try and improve it. And it is not just about you, that self. What Maureen was saying about self-study can be very, very misleading. So please do get into it, have a look round. You can see the archive is extensive now. It's all free to access. It's free to submit to, and the review process is an educational one. So it goes through the traditional academic blind review as the first one, and then it goes on into the open review space, where the reviewers have a conversation with the author. So it's no longer blinded to actually create and improve the paper that they can eventually have that meets the criteria for publishing. If you want ideas as to what it is, how to submit and the guidelines, please do have a look. If you're in any confusion, because we do know that we need to sort this out, please email me. Okay. I think it very much connects with, if you're excited by what it is that people have been speaking about today, of really getting on the inside of values-led research, where you really want to make a difference to the world in directions that you want to make it. And the world is both your smaller community, which is within a larger community, which is in a larger community. And as everybody said, if I drill a hole under my side of the boat, we sink everybody. So we are all intimate connected, and very much that notion of Ubuntu, recognizing that I am because we are, and who that we comprises, and we are because I am, because, and we are because I am. So please do have a look at EJOLTs. Let's say far more eloquently than I can ever manage to do. But I think you'll find some really exciting papers in there. There's ones by Maureen, there's ones by Jackie, there's ones by many of the names that you'll recognize here, including Jack. I think the best advert for actually why you should read EJOLTs and contribute is, if you get into some of those papers, find one that you think, oh, that looks interesting, and then you'll start to understand what it's about. Okay.
That's great. Thank you so much, Marie. Yeah, absolutely. And I think everybody is encouraged to submit and to read for EJOLTs. Okay, thank you. Now, we love reaching out to other groups and other people to learn about their views of action research and their understandings of it. And so here in Ireland, we have the Action Research Group of Ireland, and we have Mary Casey here today to just kind of give us a little insight into what's happening there, and so that we can become friends, I guess.
Thank you everyone for this opportunity and for the invitation, Maureen. As I say often, Ireland's a small nation, but there's lots of activity going on, and it's a great opportunity to hear all that you're involved in, and for us to share what we've been up to. So we formed this group approximately in the year 2000. And it was the brainchild of Professor Coughlin in Trinity, Professor Jordan Hines in the School of Nursing in Trinity, and myself. And it largely developed because when I was doing my own PhD in the business school in Trinity, there was a couple of complications. First, I was the only female, which had its own challenges, and secondly, I was a nurse, and thirdly, I was doing a methodology that really very few people had heard of, and in a way it was kind of, dare I say it, looked down on as being non-scientific in the world of business. So it was very hard at that time to kind of get any support barring your direct supervisor. So when other people came along doing it, we were motivated to create something to help future students, and hence the colloquium emerged as that answer to the question. We keep it very broad. It's for a range of disciplines. It predominantly does tend to be healthcare, and that healthcare can be ranged from medicine to practitioners in nursing, midwifery, but we do also have some managerial people over the years. And you can see here that we as we grew, more people joined the team. Vivian Brady came from midwifery in Trinity, and Claire Rigg was in the business school in Tralee IT and is recently in Suffolk Business School. And Denise O'Leary also was in Tralee IT, and she's now the assistant head in hospitality management. And we've had speakers from across the globe, each with tremendous impact. And it's been a great, now it's a non-funded colloquium. So we depend on making the money from the people who attend. And in that way, we had the idea of running some master classes. And in fact, actually, it turned out that we could fund it in terms of paying for the rooms, etc. But speakers don't get any pay. We do pay for their accommodation and their flights, obviously, when they come. And just to say that we're not just a talking shop, I thought I'd share with you some of the recent publications that we've had in the last 2 years, and moving from a qualitative handbook, although that went against my better judgment, because I have grown tired of action research being categorized as a qualitative methodology. Nevertheless, I thought it was an opportunity to put action research in there when I was invited. So David and myself did that one. And then I suppose arising from another personal issue I had, I felt people were saying to me, action research is just about telling a good story. And that was so dismissive. And it really took from, I would argue that action research is not for the faint-hearted, because it demands an awful lot of the individual, much more, I would say, much more so than other forms of research. So that was an editorial I did, and it was a therapy for me more than anything else, can I be upfront about. The other pieces of work that we did, they vary, and I wasn't involved in all of them. You can see we're ranging from management to entrepreneurial one. The one that I'd like to highlight for you, which I did highlight at our Action Research Colloquium this year, was the scoping review protocol. And this was because in our readings, I felt that the whole area of quality in action research was neglected. Now, not just me, I was busy asking my colleagues as well what their views were. So it was something that there was a kind of a shared concern for. And yet, if you were publishing in RCT, you really had to put your rigor and validity and reliability up front. So we went to do a kind of a very systematic approach to looking at how quality was addressed in the action research studies. And we found over a 2-year period, 2-year publication, we found that it wasn't as addressed to the standard that we would like. And we felt that part of this was to do with the fact that there isn't a checklist as such. And so for some of the journals that you publish in, they use qualitative ones, particularly COREG. And of course, that takes us full circle back into thinking then that action research is a qualitative methodology. So these are current works in progress. We've completed the scoping review and we're writing that up. We are looking at developing a checklist, and which we call the QUAREC, for improving action research, the quality of it in terms of the reporting, but also can be a useful guide for people when they're doing the action research itself. So that's keeping us quiet at the moment. There's a current publication that David and colleagues are doing. I'm not involved in it, but they formed a writing group, and they're exploring the vulnerability of the risks involved in that group, which they thought was very interesting because from what I hear from their discussions, the sharing of getting feedback does put you in a vulnerable position. And I think in a way that's what Jane was referring to as well. You think you're finished with something and then there's more to do. And so they put it in paper. I think it's come back for minor revisions, and it's going to the Educational Action Research journal, but it captures all of the things that I think we all felt when you give something to somebody to read. There is a bit of, oh, please don't be harsh, but in the same breath, as somebody said, you grow from it and it does improve your work. But there's a way of delivering the feedback, I guess, that we can all practice and improve on. And so the next action research will be held in June the 23rd, towards the end of June, in TU in Dublin. And everybody's welcome. The fee is somewhere around €100 for the day. But we haven't any theme, or we haven't put out a call for papers yet. We usually do that around the end of January. So thank you. That's all I have to say.
Mary, thank you so much. And it's lovely to hear about your adventures over at the Action Research Group in Ireland. Really wonderful. You can stop sharing your screen there. That's fantastic. I hope that our friendship will continue to grow and that we will hear more from you and that we will become firmer
friends. And vice
friends.
versa, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Maureen. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you, Mary.
All right.